It's your aspiration, no exaggerating. This anticipation and your motivation motivated. Nothing fake, so keep it real like situations. You know the deal, you know the deal, you know the deal. Nothing fake, so keep it real like situations. You know the deal, you know the deal, you know the deal.
Hey, that's my cut right there. That is my cut. Yo, shout out to my boy Victoria Zay, aka my oldest son. He put that little intro together for me, but we got some new jump off coming. So, but shout out to him. I use that for my podcast, but I love that intro, man. Nothing rake, nothing fake. Just keep it real. Life situations, y'all know the deal. That's cold. I love it. Hey, welcome to Basement Talk number 5. Number 5, right? Yep, number 5. We talking change today, and this topic, to me, I always say this right. This topic to me though is critical. It's critical. Um, this topic will make you separate your true friends from your associates. So number one, let's start all over. Shout out to my baby girl. She is 3 years old. Brenly, daddy loves you. Um, she just turned 3. We had some friends and family over for her birthday party a couple days ago, and it was phenomenal. Like she had the time of her life. She had a pinata. She was running around with her girlfriends and her cousins. It was a good time. Good time. Also, I turned 44 yesterday, so I'm getting old as I don't know what. But thank God for 44. I hope He blessed me with another 44. What else did I miss? It's another one. Oh, guess what? My sister's birthday is on the 28th, so shout out to her. Shout out to Courtney. Much love coming from Big Bro. May God bless her too as well. Um, I think I got all my shout outs in. So let's jump into the good stuff. All right. So, what does it mean to change? Change, alter, modify. It all means to make. Means it's all means to become different, right? Change, become different for sure. Now, just think about your life, right? Think about how the changes you have made change your life and the people around you and how they act, right? So let me say that again, right? I think it may have sounded just a little crazy, but think about your life and how the changes you have changed your life and the way people around you act towards you. Okay, think about that. Think about that. Again, I'm 44 years old today, and over the last 10 years, I've experienced I have experienced life from many different angles and obstacles, right? Things that I used to entertain, I don't necessarily entertain that no more. Um, uh, I don't waste my time with that anymore. I guess I should say, like people I used to think I cared about so much, I really don't care about. No, that sounds so shady. Or should I say, I don't waste my energy on, right? I don't waste energy on people who it just you just don't deserve to be around. It ain't worth that at all. You know, people I call friends are really just my associates, and I just didn't realize that until I got older, right? And as I got older, I understand what's important and what's not. So this topic may somewhat be touchy to some. So if you don't like it, just go ahead and excuse yourself. It is what it is at this point, right? I'm sure you understand where I'm coming from. Many of you can relate. Um, this topic is called change, right? And until you make a change, you'll still be living the same lifestyle over and over and over again, and you'll be around the same people and with the same energy, and your life will be at a standstill, right? Then let me start this off by saying, I always like use myself as an example, but put yourself in some of these situations, or if you can relate, you can relate to some of the topics that I'm about to share with you guys today. So, some of the most noticeable changes that have happened in my life, um, people can't stand, and here's a few, is that I like to be number one. I like to be to myself now more often that I'm older. So, my peace and quiet and my environment has changed. Um, I used to be the center of attention, right? I always were in the mix of things. And believe me when I tell you, I love being around people and laughing with others. Y'all know that. I talk about that all the time, right? That's who I am, though. That's who I am. As I continue to grow, my soul is happy with just chilling and being away from others. I used to live closer to family members and friends, but now I choose to live away because I like the peace and quiet that comes with it. I realize that um, when I realize when you are away, you really see how important you are to people, right? Like you just gotta back away and see who reach out to you, who say what's up, who check on you, and you'd be surprised, man. You seem like you don't even exist anymore. It's a weird feeling to go through. It's definitely a weird feeling to go through. I promise you that. In most cases, those friends and family members that you used to hang out with, they don't call, they don't stop by, right? So the question is, how important were you really, or were you just a convenience for others? Let that sit in a little bit. Like I promise you, I mean, I felt like that, right? Was I just a convenient? Was I just a laughing stock for you? Like, yes, I may have warmed your soul, but overall, was it beneficial for me? Can you give me that energy back? Hmm. I don't know. And if some of you ain't thought about that, sit back and think about that right now. Like, what you doing right now? Is it worth your time and energy to those that you're entertaining? I guess you can say, right? Um, you'll be surprised, like, at how much hate I receive for living where I live at. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know, I don't know why people do this to any and everyone. I really dislike when people talk about people when they, better themselves. But you know, you get the excuses to why folks haven't visited or even text, call or text, right? I love this. I love this, and I think this is what I was getting at. Like, have you ever been hit with this? Um, oh, you too good for us now. You way too good for us. You think you doing something. Oh, you acting all brand new. You don't care about family, etc. Stuff like that, man. And then you realize that all this time you've been going out of your way to satisfy others' needs and not your own. You've been doing it way too much. You've been satisfying everybody else's needs way too much. Way too much. It's a terrible feeling, man. Straight up. People never really understand your change and what makes you happy. They normally only care about what benefits them during that specific time. Yeah, it's a hard thing to swallow, right? It's a hard thing to swallow. We talk about what benefit people and people never understand your change. Let's talk about professionalism and the working atmosphere. That's number two, right? So we tapped into the quiet and having your peace and your environment and you making changes. But then when you take it to the workplace, um, there's a different type of change that take place, right? We could talk about growth because you got coworkers can be just as bad or if not worse than the people that's close to you, family or friends, right? They can work with you on an associate to associate level, but as soon as you advance to make yourself better, um, that's when the hate starts. You become public enemy number one, right? They can't stand you now. They talking about you behind your back. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you again. You think you're doing something because you moving up in the world. Um, we ain't gonna mean nothing to you now. Oh, you bougie. All this type of stuff. It's just so bad, right? They treat you like you the police. So I say that because sometimes, and I don't get that. I don't get it often, right? But they just look at you in a different way to where, um, like, oh my God, Brian's coming. So be quiet or go act like you working. You can't do nothing. It's so weird. Like it's a different type of feeling because now you're not an associate, you're in management because you moved up and you better yourself. Now people act differently towards you, right? They watching your every move to report you though, right? This is the type of stuff that happens, right? So you went from driving this person to work every day to now watching you, hoping that you mess up so that they can go report you, so you don't have to be in the position that you in. Okay, I'm gonna talk to somebody today. I'm gonna let y'all know what's going on, right? I'm gonna let you yep, yep. I'm gonna let you know what's going on, straight up, straight up. Um, they talk about you behind your back. They'll talk nice to you in your face, hoping you will slip up and say something so they can report you. Yeah, this is that change, right? Watching you to see if you're going to give more attention to one person and not the other, right? I'm telling you, all this because you wanted to change for the better. You better yourself, but people will do whatever they can to make them seem like you giving them the issue because you change. That don't even make sense. I don't understand why people never respect people's change. People always want you to stay on their level, but then when they decide to change, you're supposed to accept that with open arms. Tell me how that works. Tell me why we are even like that in the first place. Tell me why our family members and friends who are close to us don't accept our change, but supposed to be there to encourage us, supposed to be there to lift us up so we can continue to grow, but yet they try to hold you down or degrade you or tell you that you don't deserve where you're at, right? Let me use this as an example. As I got older, I like to travel, right? And the change in me was like, yo, when I was younger, I really didn't travel much. My parents, we didn't take lots of family vacations. I went on a few, but that wasn't something that I did. I didn't travel. I missed out on so much, um, you know. So as I got older, my family traveled. We do family vacations. We go out, we go to different water parks, all this type of stuff. And some people, friends and family, right, will will be like, "Oh, y'all always going somewhere. Oh, dang, you must be rich. You always doing that." Like, no, man. Like, this is the change. This is what I chose to do. Like, I don't want to stay in the same spot. I don't want to live in the same area my whole entire life. I want to see the world. I want to do things. I want to experience things. So I got stories to tell my children when they grow up. Our families, our mothers and fathers can't have those stories. Times were different back in the day. So let's give our children or just ourselves something better to talk about as we grow each and every year. We don't have to stay in the same spot. So I don't understand why it's a bad thing to want to experience something new. Whether it's traveling, whether it's work, whether it's buying new houses, new cars, whatever. If you work hard for it, you deserve it. Don't hate on the next person. Let their change be something to be glorified on. I'm telling you. Give them the praise. They deserve it. And they was blessed. God gave them an opportunity to grow. So why not take it? He don't even want us to just sit here. He got high expectations of you and me. So let's just go ahead and take it. It's there, because guess what? It's here today, gone tomorrow. He'll put it in front of you. If you don't want it, he'll bless somebody else. I'm going to take my blessings and I'm going to run with them. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, man. I'm going to take my blessings and I'm going to run with them. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely going to do that. Yeah, straight up. Right? Another thing we do that comes with that growth is appearance, right, in our surroundings. So when you get into a higher level position, your appearance and your surroundings must change, right? You What you say or do in or outside of work can affect you in many different ways. Like, you can't kick it like that after work anymore. You know, you can't just be with everybody everywhere because all eyes are on you. And that's just the way it is. I know some of y'all probably don't agree with that. Like, oh, you off work, you should be able to do what you want. But it don't work like that. Any choices that you make outside of work can affect your job, right? And if you worked hard to get in that position that you in, it'll be taken away from you because you disrespecting and you not representing the company in the way they want you to represent you, right? You got to keep it cool because you're a major representation of that company that you work for, right? Your career is at risk. No one cares but you. And you be like, Brian, what you mean by that? No one cares but you, right? You have to realize that peer pressure can destroy your life and put your family in a rough situation, right? When you lose your job, those same people that encourage you to kick it are not going to be uh, in the office fighting for you to get your job back. That's 100% for sure. Especially if their job will be in danger, right? If they was with you, right? That's more ammunition for the company to let them go too. So why would they put themselves out there? They don't care about you. They don't want to lose their job, right? Um, as a matter of fact, they're going to now have something to talk about because you are now not in that position that you worked your tail off to be in, right? They'll probably smile and be happy that you're gone. It probably was a setup. I hate to be so negative, man, but I watch things like this happen, or things have happened to me or other people, and it's a sad situation. Just to be honest with you, it's a very sad situation to be in. So yeah, what you do outside of work or what you do, um, you know, you just got to know that you are representing a company at all times, right? And that's why social media, which is kind of like the next topic that I'm gonna jump into a little bit, social media can tear you down, right? Yes, people, oh, we got a freedom of speech to do this. It doesn't matter. Like, they will find a way to fire you. You can't just be talking crazy, going all off, and then go to work in a higher up position and act like you just gonna have your job and that everything is okay and all right. That's not how it works, right? You setting yourself up for failure, right? And social media, I really don't need to even say too much about that. It kind of speaks for itself. You just have to be, um, you just have to be dumb to think that someone isn't waiting for you to screw up there. You know what I'm saying? Um, once we start, once we start to change our lives, our profession, our surroundings, people's hater radar goes up, and they start to act funny around you and towards you. Right? That's real. That's real, man, and it's so bad, but it's so true, right? We can't help the people around us, but again, right? We are separating our friends and our associates, right? That's why when some of y'all had 20 friends, and they be like, "Man, I got so many friends." Do you got 20 friends, or you got 20 associates and make two friends? What you got? Reevaluate. See who real in your corner. See who not. Okay. Number three. Number three. We cruising right along. I told you I wasn't gonna hold you too long, and I try to keep our little podcast here between 20 and 30 minutes. That's about right. That's enough to get my point across. But personality and life changes, and I chose this topic to be the last one because it's the serious one. So when we talk about personality and life changes, right? I always tell everybody, man, I'm the goofy one. I'm the goofball, and I like to have fun. But there's a time and a place for all of that. Really, it's a time and a place for all of that. And you got to know when to do it, who to do it to, when to cut it off, because that all plays a part too. Um, it's when you decide to not do all the things that you used to do, right? Um, Sometimes we realize that what we are currently doing is not adding up to our own expectations, right? So we know we can do better than what we're displaying, and I think I had mentioned that too in a couple other episodes ago. Just in general, and we talk about ourselves that we can all just do better, and that comes with change, right? A lot of people are scared of changing themselves, um, but when you finally do decide to do it, people look at you as a joke, right? Um, you know, Again, they go to their sayings like, "Oh well, you're going through a phase, you'll fall back to the old you eventually," or "Oh, he or she must have got caught up, so now they want to act right." Um, let me say this, man, to all the judgmental folks listening right now, because I know there's some judgmental folks listening to me right now, straight up, right? Um, Normal folks go through things no matter what they are, um, in order to grow or change. Some change right away, um, and for some it take years. But regardless, though, regardless of the time frame, who are we to judge or hate on change? All I'm asking is that for you to accept and embrace the change for the good, right? Check it out. Even if your relationship or situation comes to an end, just know it was for the best in the long run. If the change, right? If the change is for the good, because we don't know what people go through, right? Some people stay in abusive relationships, right? And they feel like they can't change, they can't get out of it. So they just stay, right? I don't care if you're married for 25 years. If you're getting punched in the eye every day, you got to get out of that. You know what I'm saying? So people can't sit here and be like, oh, he done got another divorce, such and such, blah, blah, blah. That ain't my business. Is it working out for you? Was it for the better of the children? Was it better for your mental state? Then it's time for change. Then that's on you. I'm going to encourage you to do better and be better, right? Everyone is changing for the best in their life. And if you're changing for the worse, then that's another topic. That's another situation. You know, there's different options for you to go towards if it's for the worse, right? There's some help that's needed, but changing for the good is positive, right? And we want to encourage those people to continue to move forward and grow. Check this quote out. This quote was cold. I was just scrolling through Google. I do that sometimes. I'm like, man, I just want to look for a positive quote, something that's uplifting. You know what I mean? Like to make you feel good. And this quote came up. Check this out. Um, it said this: things end, people change, and you know what? Life goes on. So I said, let's break this down real quick, right? And I'm gonna break it down real quick before I close out. I told you I won't be before you long, right? But check it out. Things end. Friendship, not non-important places or things. You know what I'm saying? Some things that you used to like or you thought it was cool, not cool. Hey, things end. Drinking in, drugs in, everything that you can imagine, right? It all ends, right? When changes happen. When changes take place, those things end. Um, Relationships, whatever that needed to change, those things come to an end, right? People change. Number two, you change to better yourself, right? Others change because they don't like others change because they don't like your change, right? So they start acting funny. Real friends will lift you up, and others will hate and bring you down, right? That's part of your change. People change. You change. Other people change. At the end of the day, and this is what I love. At the end of the day, life goes on. At some point, you'll have to cut folks off. You know what I'm saying? You have to cut them off, get them out your face. You know what I'm saying? Cut them off and let them go. You got to do what's best for you first, right? And um, everything else after, um, you got to do what's best for you first, and then do what's best for everything that follows after that, right? So it's you first, then your family, everything else, right? You be better first, and then everything else will fall in place. And at the end of the day, it don't really matter what people say or do, right? It's all about you. It's all about your change, right? If people don't understand your change, they don't understand you. They don't know what you represent. They don't know who you are, where you coming from, and why you changing. Your friends do though. Your good friends that you tell, hey, look, this is going on in my life. You take it or leave it. You in, you riding, or you not. Then they say, dog, I'm with you. Then they rolling. Then we ain't got nothing to worry about. Let the change begin. Either you in or you out, right? Um, by now or by that point, you should be able to separate your real friends from your associates, right? Realize who's for you and who's not, right? So check it out. On the serious note, embrace your change, and go in at 100%. You know, many of us have good intentions on change, but we either scared to go on with it, or we just fall short. We just keep falling short. Um, you know, I've been an example of falling short many a times, right? And I always say this: I'm not a perfect guy, right? But that's not an excuse. I can't use that as an excuse, and I always want to just clarify when I say that, because there's no excuse, right? If you keep doing it over and over, right, you need to get some help. You need to sit back and think, like, do you really want to change or don't you? Right? So that's something that we all need to think about. But I never like pointing a finger. Like, if you got to change, I got to change too, right? That's just the way it go. And this is my podcast, so what I speak about is something that I need to do as well. So that's what makes this so real. Who cares what other things? Um, and again, that goes for me too. Uh, I don't know, man. Like, I definitely think that more changes need to happen in my life too, so I can continue to grow as a human, right? I just took a pause there because I just had to think, like, I really do have a lot of changes to make, um, and a lot of things to think about, only to make me better. Now, if you ask me, I have been going through a lot of changes to make me better as a person. You know, I used to be a numb person. I used to hold grudges. I used to hold anger. I used to um, just I have a hard time trusting things or people. Like, it's just something that I need to embrace change and work through some things and just kind of get back to where I need to be, right? Because some of the things is just not fair to other people, right? So change need to happen for me, and that's real. Um, I tell you what, though, some folks don't like that. Some folks don't like that I do this podcast, right? Some people may have known me my whole entire life, right? And they might not know old Brian or what Brian used to do before I even got to this point in my life, and I can't really care about that, right? My podcast is not used to embarrass anybody or throw anybody underneath the bus, because that's not what I do. Everything is in regard to me, right? So if you're mad for me changing and me growing, I don't know if you're that important. I really don't. So um, take it or leave it. Respect my change. I guess that's what I want to say. I guess you can laugh about that. And I'm just being real. Like, you can just laugh just straight up. You can laugh about that. It is what it is at this point, right? I think I made this topic very clear today, right? Just embrace your change regardless of what people say or do. Um, and just keep it moving. Um, if they walk, man, they wasn't for you in the first place. If they decide to bounce, let them bounce. If they talking about you, if they talking about you, then you doing something right, right? You ever hear that, man? If they talking about the preachers, you be like, they talking about me, I must be doing something right. That's true, straight up, right? They talking about you, they hating, you doing something right. So check it out. I'm done fussing for the day, but I just thought this was a real topic. Get your change on, right? Better yourself, better the people around you, right? The ones that deserve it, right? And let the other people go. And that's real. Listen, that's my time again. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to my page. Like, click that link down below. Subscribe to the page. Tell somebody else about it. Let's talk some real stuff around here today. Again, it's your boy B Jennings. Let me leave you with this. This is my favorite quote. If you see me post things all the time, I say this right at the bottom. Because this is the basic basement talk podcast and jams though. Like, I'm a musician. I play music. As a matter of fact, if you're in our area, in the Waterford area, March 15th will be at Spanky's for the St. Patty's Jam, right? But back to the podcast here, we do put out some music every now and then. We show some rehearsals with the band I play for, which is 1703. Make sure you follow them on YouTube and TikTok and Facebook. Just check it out, all right? But this is my favorite quote. All the world needs is real people and music, and everything will be all right. So get around some realness, right? Put your favorite music on and get some work done. It's your boy B Jennings. I'm signing out. God bless you. Have a good one.
This your aspiration, no exaggerating. This anticipation and your motivation motivated. Nothing fake, so keep it real like